Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to make some Greek letter shirts. So first you take a pre-existing shirt that you may have or that your daughter may have and trace the letters there. If you can't do that and you want to get a little bit busy before she comes home from college, you can trace out of any kind of cardboard, make it a little thicker. It should be less than 4 inches up. And you take the outside and the inside, and there should be a slight distance. This is not very good this way. Let's see if I can, okay, a little bit better. Like that. And take the other letters. The delta has an elongated top. It is not a right triangle. It's an obtuse triangle. So you have kappa delta. You can also do thicker letters, depending on how big you want them, or you can do funky letters. Once you pick your letters design and have your template, you need heat and bond. Heat and bond, preferably for a letter shirt, you would use the heat and bond in the purple wrapping. That is, you're able to sew through it. For my letters, I usually do the no-sew, which is the red wrapping, for it gives them a little bit stiffer, but that's your personal preference. If you do the red wrapping, you need to get some sewing oil for the needle and use the oil on the needle before, like every couple of inches in your sewing. Otherwise the glue will gunk up and it'll tear your thread. So you take the heat and bond and you lay it out and you put your template down and trace it out. When you're doing things like kappas, you need to make sure how you trace it works for where you iron it on, because you can't flip it around. So like if I traced it this way, and ironed it on and then cut it out, depending on how my fabric was going, it may not work out. If I traced it this way and ironed it on, it'd be backwards. So it's frustrating. Then you trace out both of them, both the big and the small, and cut them out loosely. You can do it in strips, but you want to make sure that when you iron the heat and bond onto the fabric, it doesn't overextend and that it doesn't get onto your iron. Otherwise, it'll ruin your iron or your ironing board and everything will stick to it. So you iron it on. You iron your heat and bond strips onto the fabric. If you buy fabric from the store just for letters, you need 1/8 of a yard. You iron it on and you cut them out. I iron my small letters onto my big letters. Some people can just freehand the big letters around the small letters. I'm not that talented. So I do my template of my small letter on my big letter. Ooh, there we go. And once I have those ironed on together, I place it on the shirt and then iron it where I see fit. For sewing, because after you do the heat and bond on, all you have to do is sew. For sewing, you need to make sure you have no tension on your sewing machine. Then you also want a zigzag pattern. You want it spaced a little bit apart, not too far apart, because you don't want the edges to fray. The heat and bond will help with that. But you want it still close. When they make it at the stores, they make it right on top of each other, but at home sometimes that doesn't come across as well. So you have a little bit of a zigzag in the distance. And you can do like black if it's on a black shirt. I also have black stitching on the inside one. You can't really tell with the polka dots. And sew it on. And that's how you make it. Okay.